Volunteer, the International Services Department. The reason I got involved with the American Red Cross, I had a professor, she arranged for me to volunteer with the Red Cross locally in what was then called the Service to Military Families Department.
Because I love to help people. I started at the Red Cross as an AmeriCorps volunteer, so I was there every day for a year. And it's a year of service, national service, and it's a world that I never knew existed and a world that I never knew I always wanted to be a part of.
I do what I do with and for the American Red Cross because of its principles. There's 7, but the core of which are neutrality, impartiality, and humanity.
I'm from Huber Heights, Ohio. I'm 54. I'm a retired educator. I've been volunteering since Hurricane Katrina. I did not have background in Red Cross. I had 20 years as a volunteer with Girl Scouts, and I was an instructor of trainers for Girl Scouts, and so I was used to working with other adults.
After Katrina, people wondering how they could help. The story is always the same, last minute. They did not have power. Much of the place did not have power.
So we were kind of in the dark. We didn't know how bad it was.
13 states were affected, millions of people, millions of power outages, and I know that the total damage in New York was about $41 billion. And in New Jersey, I think $36 billion. It was just complete devastation.
The magnitude is hard to comprehend if you're not there. One of the best ways I can explain it is Red Cross rates their disasters on a scale from 1 to 5. Sandy, like Alabama, and Katrina was probably a 6 or a 7, which means it was above the normal scale that Red Cross uses.
In the American Red Cross, when there is a national disaster, there are different categories and subcategories. I was in mass care and sheltering, so that means I work at the client shelters, which are usually high schools or churches or hospitals. We take care of the clients. We provide food, mental health, and any moral support that they might need running the shelter.
My team or the folks that accompany us as part of the mental health activity try to help those people begin the process, putting their lives back together again from the emotional aspect. What we try to do is just deal with the opposite side of the physical damage, but there's a whole emotional side to this whole process as well. People lose memories of a whole lifetime.
Well, as herb drivers, we were primarily there to pick up food from the kitchen, deliver it to a location, or do mobile feeding. Sometimes the herbs are used to carry supplies, cleaning supplies, bulk distribution, but we were always handling food on this deployment.
The City of New York has over 100 homeless shelters, and they too were greatly affected. We were just there to help in any way that we could. The shelter I was in at Staten Island, the number fluctuated between 80 and 130 people, and between 20 and 40 animals. Several different people I came across, both shelters. Some of them did speak English, some of them didn't, that I had to speak Spanish with. It became a problem between the police officers and them to communicate. Stepped in and helped translate.
I think nobody understands what a difficult situation responding to an emergency can be because of everybody just getting there and just doing their job.
The hardest part for me was we were handing out these, and there was a gentleman on the other side of the street. He was older, he kind of reminded me of my dad, and he was rolling up the street in one of those little motorized wheelchairs. And he looked over at me with this haunted look that I will never forget. So I got a meal and 2 bottles of water, and I took him across the street to him. And he said, "Thank you, and God bless you." And as he rolled up the street, he started crying, and the tears were rolling down his face.
I think in the course of 2 weeks there serving food, we received more "God bless you, thank you for being here." The Red Cross is not government funded, so we need to keep telling people this is a donation. If you donated to the Red Cross, thank you, this is what's helping you. It's just, people say, why did you do this? The question is, if I don't do it, who will?
I truly believe that my life changed more in those 2 weeks than in the last 2 years. And what I learned that none of us are exempt. Disasters don't play favorites.
In the years that I have done this work, I've missed birthdays, anniversaries, first days of school, deaths of family members. And I think you can extrapolate that to all of us who choose to leave our families on any given day. Whenever there's a need, we're there, and we're there until the need is over.
I realized that people trust the Red Cross, and that was a great responsibility to feel. Estoy muy agradecida por ser voluntaria con la Cruz Roja Americana.